Hi, this is Karen with Karen's Cards and More, and today we're going to do a double flap fun fold. And when I decided to make this card, my goal was to use up some products that will be retiring at the end of April. So I looked through my designer series paper, and then I built everything else around that. So this is the card we're going to do today. And stick with me till the end because I have a couple more examples to show you using this same card design. So we have a bow on the side. So then you have this that opens here, and then it opens up like this. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to make today. Just like that. So we're going to do some stamping. We're going to put some designer series paper together, and I'll show you how to do this. And at the end, I'll show you a couple more examples. These are Stampin' Up! Products. I am an independent demonstrator, so if you like anything you see here today and want to order that, you can hop on over to my blog, karenscardsandmore.com, and I'll put that in the description below. You'll be able to find the card recipe there, and you'll be able to find the links to the products to be able to order them. Now, for the stamp set I'm using for this card, it is not retiring, but the designer series paper, the cardstock that we're using, the inks that we're using, it is all retiring. So we're doing a color refresh this year with Stampin' Up! So we've got some oldie colors that are retiring. We've got some colors that are returning. We've got brand new colors. So a lot going on in the color palette with Stampin' Up! But I wanted to use up some of the stuff that's retiring. And so that's what we're going to do with this card. Okay? So let's get started. I'm using two stamp sets today. I'm using the two-tone Flora, and this stamp set is staying around. So if you order it, it'll be in the catalog coming up. And then Peaceful Moments is an older set. I believe that is retiring. I like it because it's got all the different sayings on it, and we're going to use the greetings today. So let me move that out of the way and let me show you the papers. So the cardstock base that we're going to be using is soft suede, which is retiring. And you're going to need a piece that is 5.5 by 10, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So this is scored at 4 1/4 and 8.5, and that's going to give us the base to our card. Then you're going to need 3 squares that are 3 3/8 inch each. So you need 3 of those. Then for your basic white, you're going to need 1 piece that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then you're going to need 2 pieces for the inside that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need 2 squares that are 3/4 by 3/4. You're going to need a piece that is 1 3/8 by 5 3/8. And then you're going to need a piece that is 3.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. That's going to make our fold piece for the front. Then you're going to need some designer series paper. And this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's all of our pieces that we're going to need. Like I said, I will have all this on my blog, so you don't need to write all those details down. So when I designed this card, the first thing I did is found the designer series paper that I wanted to use, and then I pulled the colors out of this. You could easily choose something that is more springy if you wanted something more colorful. I knew that I wanted to use up some of my stuff that's retiring and to show you some of the retiring products. So that's what we're going to go for, okay? So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our designer series paper on our white pieces. So we need the piece that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and we're going to layer this on here, just like that, and we're going to layer this piece on here. So I'm just going to bring in my liquid glue. Actually, I think I'll just use my Stampin' Seal. So I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And we're just going to layer this on here, just like that. Now this paper that I'm using is from the Fancy Flora Designer Series paper, and it will be retiring. So I love this paper, so I wanted to use it, and I love the colors that's in it, so I wanted to use some more of it. So just like that. That's our 2 pieces. Now we can go ahead and put this on our card base. So here's the side that was at the 8 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to fold that. And we have it scored at the 4 1/4. So when you put this, fold it in, it should work out right at that 4 1/4. So I just go like that to make sure I've got a smooth fold on there. And I'm just going to bring in my bone folder, and I'm just going to crease it, make sure we got a good fold. Okay. All right. Now we can go ahead and put these pieces on. So this is going to go on here, and then this is going to go on that piece. Okay. So let's go ahead and attach those. Okay, I'm going to turn that like that because that's the easiest way for me to make sure I'm lining it up and getting it where it needs to go. And that looks good right there. And this is going to go like this. And I'm just going to, this is just a thin border, so I want to make sure we just get the thin border on here. Just like that. So that's got the start of our card done. Now we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to bring in my other basic white pieces. We're not going to stamp on the piece that is 3 1/2 by 7, scored at 3 1/2. We're not stamping on that one, so I'm just going to put that aside, and we're going to start stamping on these other squares. So the first square that we're going to stamp is our front square. So we're going to start with the happy birthday. So I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp the happy birthday right in the middle on the front. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with this small flower. Actually, in the set, it's a more medium, one of the medium sized, and it's a 2-step stamp. So the detailed part we're going to stamp first, and I'm using Soft Succulent, which is a retiring color. And I'm just inking that up, and I'm going to stamp this down in this corner, just like that. And then I'm going to come in with the more solid stamp, and I'm using the same color, the soft succulent, and I'm just going to line that up. And stamp down, just like that. And then I'm going to come in with this sprig, and I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen, which is also retiring. And I'm just going to do a sprig off to the side, just like that. And then another color that's retiring, one of the mainstay colors that's retiring, is soft suede. So I wanted to bring that in as well. So we're using this little cluster of flowers. So I'm going to start with the detailed part. And I'm just going to stamp this off to the side here. And then I'm going to do the more solid part. And what I want to do with this, I'm going to ink it up with the soft suede, but then I want to stamp off so that I'm getting a lighter hue when I stamp this on there, and you'll see the effects of that in just a moment. So I'm just going to line up those little holes in the middle and put that down. And you can see that gives us a lighter flower for that. So next we're going to stamp the other square piece. Let me show you that. That's this piece. So to do this, we're going to do a larger flower, and we want a more drastic difference in the two-tone stamping. So we're going to start with the Evening Evergreen for our detailed piece, and we're going to do that right in the middle. And then we're going to come back with the more solid of this, and we're doing that with the soft succulent. And I'm just going to line this up, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to go back to this sprig, and we're going to do the Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to come off this way. And then without re-inking, I'm just going to come off the other way to give us two different looks in our sprig. And then I'm going to come in with these cluster flowers that we used before. And we're going to do the same process with these. We're going to use the Evening Evergreen for the detailed portion. So we're just going to put that here. And then we're going to do another one over in here, like that. And then we're going to come back with the solid part. We're going to use the soft succulent. And we're just going to go right back to those. I'm just going to line those up. There's that one. And if it doesn't line up one way, just flip it the other way. Okay, and so that's got this piece done. Okay, we're just going to set that aside. Now we're ready to do the inside. So on one piece, up in this corner, we want to do another one of those larger flowers. And this time we're going to do it with the soft suede. And I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to do both parts of it full strength. So I'm going to ink up. And I'm going to come in this corner up here and stamp down. And you know, I think I am going to stamp off just for the difference. I like the difference in doing the lighter. So I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to match this up. Just like that. And then we're going to do this sprig again in the evening evergreen. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to come off to this side. And then I'm just going to come off this way without re-inking. Just like that. Okay, that's got this piece done. Then for our last piece, in the middle, we're going to use the black memento, and we're going to type this, "Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring." So I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm just going to stamp that in the middle. Just like that. And then once again, we're going to use the sprig. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just using the evening evergreen. And this time I think I'm going to put it, I'm going to make sure I get the ink even on there. I'm going to put it like this way. And then come back this way. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to take a minute and close up all my ink pads so that we don't get ink on anything. So we were able to use 3 colors that are retiring: the soft succulent, the evening evergreen, and the soft suede. Okay. So now let's put our card together. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring our card base back. Okay, so we're going to start by matting the 2 squares that we stamped. So I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal on the back of our front square. And we're just going to go ahead and put this on the soft suede mat. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing with the other piece. Just like that. So we've got our 2 squares done. I'm going to bring in our card base, and we can go ahead and mount the pieces that we stamped for that. These are going to go on the inside. So I'm going to just go ahead and put my Stampin' Seal on here. And this one's going on this side. Just like that. And this one's going over here, so we're going to go ahead and attach that. And we're going to line that up and put that down. Now we're ready to put it all together. So that the next thing that we want to do is we're going to come in with our square our piece that we, that was 3.5 by 7, and we scored it. So we want to go ahead and fold that. This is the piece that's going on the front. So we can go ahead and mount these on here. Now remember, this is going to be mounted on the front where it opens. The opening is on the left side. So think about that as you're attaching these pieces, okay? So we're just going to attach these on here. I'm just going to get that on there. And we're going to attach the other one on the inside. And we want to make sure we get the things going in the right direction. So I'm just going to put that down there just like that. We're not going to put our other square piece in yet, and I'll show you why. So the next thing that we're going to do is on the front piece towards the middle, we're going to put some Stampin' Seal. And I'm using this gold metallic edged ribbon, and I just want to stick that down in that Stampin' Seal, and I want to try to get that in the middle. Just like that. And I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to leave enough to tie a bow. And I'm just going to cut that. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this piece that we just put together, and I only want to put adhesive just on the part that's going to be on here. This is going to get mounted on the middle, okay? Just like that. Now for this part, I like to use the liquid glue. So I'm just going to put some, I'm putting it right over the ribbon, and I'm just scribbling some on there. And I'm going to turn this over, and I just want to put this in the middle, but I want it to go right out to the edge. Just like that. Okay. Then on this piece is where the other soft suede mat is going to go. But before we glue that down, we want to put a little Stampin' Seal right here. And we're going to put our ribbon right in that. And I just leave this attached for a moment. So then I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of my soft suede square. And this goes right on here. Just like that. And then I'm going to, so this piece of ribbon comes behind, this piece of ribbon comes out to the side there, and I'm just going to trim this so that they're about the same size. Now you could tack this down along the bottom, along the back if you wanted to. I did not, I just tied it. So I'm just going to tie this in a bow. just like that. And you can always trim these if you want to, if you think they're too long. I always like to leave them a little long to give myself plenty to tie with. I think this one's a little long over here, so I'm just going to trim that a little bit. And turn that a little like that. And there you have it. So here's the one that we started with, and I'm going to go ahead and tie this back. So the one I showed you at the beginning. Okay, so here's the one from before. This is the one we just made in the video together. And I promised you that I would show you some other examples of cards I made using this exact same design. So let me do that. Okay, so I did another one with the same thought of tying the bow. This one I used the Brilliant Butterflies because those are retiring. So I made this more like a 3D and then did some stamping. And when you open it up, I did some stamping there. I used Nature's Print stamp set here. I used the Evening Evergreen for my base. This came from the Fancy Flora Designer Series paper as well. And then I used the Brilliant Butterflies and did some more stamping on the inside. And that's this one. Then for another variation, this is the Cup of Tea stamp set. And instead of doing the ribbon, I did a belly band. And I featured Petal Pink on this one because Petal Pink is also retiring. And this is the Designer Series paper from the Tea Boutique set. So a little different spin on it using the belly band instead of the ribbon and tying the bow. So just one difference to the element and you have a different card, beautiful card. Hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Be sure to check out my Facebook group, my Facebook page, my blog. If you'd like any of the products here, or if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator for Stampin' Up, I can help you with that as well. Give these cards a try. Use up some of your retiring papers and cardstock and stamps and see what you can come up with. And I'll be back to craft with you again soon.